Oh, wow. What is the word? I don't know.
An orchestra.
Yes. Welcome, everybody, to...
Yes.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and... Ew.
Oh.
Oh.
Not the sound.
She's got... What is this
She's
called?
hand sanitizer. She's being clean.
Okay. I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
And Maria.
So what's happening is we're reaching the middle of the day. We've been here. We already recorded 2 podcasts. This is where things like, I know, like
going A1.
Not that we ever start okay, but like
We
this is
start
where
terrible
things
every time.
really hit the rails.
And I'm tired, so this is gonna get worse by the minute.
It's not. This won't be good. I'm just gonna give you a preface here. This probably is gonna suck.
And if you
I don't
like it,
think
you don't like it. It's okay.
So this is really exciting.
It's new.
This is new. Is it because we are tired and a little lazy and want it to...
Lazy is not what it is. I am tired.
Okay. Are we...
I am tired. We have demanding jobs.
All right. This is what we're doing. From now on, moving
I don't
forward.
know if it's from now on.
From now on, moving forward. We are...
Indefinitely.
We're implementing a new thing. I actually think you guys are going to like this. From now on, it's going to be every month. So we record these in batches every month. Every month, 3 books and a movie.
It felt like you were expecting it to be a little bit more climactic, and then you realized it wasn't, and then you added in the wahoo at the end.
Thanks for half-heartedly joining me.
Oh, woo!
We always talk about the fact that when these movies are made out of books, what is it?
Or
3...
when the shows are made, it's like 3 seasons in a movie or 5 seasons in a movie.
Well,
No, I
actually,
mean
it's
the
opposite.
joke is from Community, and they say 7 seasons in a movie. I think is the joke on Community.
Okay.
But no, I'm just saying that's where
Yeah.
it kind of like
That's where it's
crested
stemming from. So every month...
Also, one of the Barstool guys, Wonton Don. John's a big fan of Wonton Don, and he used to
What
go.
a name.
He makes wonton like.
Okay.
Or not wontons, covering
on.
good, whatever. Doesn't matter. He's a travel guy, so he used to be their he's their international correspondent. He used to live in China. He used to go to the Shanghai Shark games all of the time. And he was
Shark
like
games?
Shanghai Sharks were their basketball team.
Oh. I thought
And-
actual sharks.
Oh, boy.
So he used to go to
I
these
was in
basketball
ROTC.
games.
Yeah.
Fuck up.
Sharks. But he used to go to these basketball games, and he's I would say borderline alcoholic, and
Okay.
he used to get 3 beers and a Fanta.
Oh,
Cute.
3
All right,
beers.
so
Okay.
three books
in a
and a
movie.
movie.
3 books in a movie. It's like a Wonton Don combined with Community joke.
So every month when we do a new genre, so this month was sci-fi, we are gonna pick an accompanying movie.
Accompanying,
I know
I
we
say
didn't.
that.
I
I
know
don't
we
wanna
didn't.
say that,
I know.
'cause-
Let me keep going.
Okay.
So
Because you're saying this is going to happen every month, but it's not going to be that way.
yeah.
What is it going to be?
Yeah. What do you
We're
mean?
going to probably just pick a movie that's based off a book, but it doesn't mean it's going to be part of the genre. I don't want to.
We could try.
I don't want to pigeon us into a genre.
We've been trying to do genres. The genre thing may or may not fall apart in short months.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, continue.
Either way, every month we will record 4 episodes, and every episode will be like, okay, so the first one will be a book that I pick, the second one will be a book that Erica picks, the third one will be a book that Maria picks, and the fourth one will be about a movie that's about a book. We've said this before. Erica has said this before.
Erica loves movies.
She loves movies. We would have almost been better off doing a movie podcast,
But
to be
there's
honest.
so many movie podcasts.
Since
Exactly.
that, and since we
So
all
many.
worked in TV, so it's
Yeah.
like it's weird that we went to books, but it's not at the same time. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, my thing about the books and TV podcasts, and I know this might like take away from us a little bit, but like for it to be a good podcast for a TV or a movie, you need to know so much information. Like the people who do like those that like on YouTube, the ones that I watch, I don't watch anything. I watch very specific people. They are people that have like an elevated sense of understanding of things,
Yup.
and they like pick out things, and they do work to make their videos like fucking awesome. And they probably spend hours and hours making these videos that are very tailored, and they like remove passages, and they like take excerpts, and they have these like very, very heightened opinions and like
Well,
actual
we are
thoughts.
not. We are not.
All that to say, that's not gonna happen here.
I might have a really, really strong like opinion about a movie, and I could probably talk to it. It's not going to be anything that's like more than what somebody else would probably say.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new, right?
Nothing new.
It's what we've been doing.
But
so
with books, I think we do have a cornerstone in this arena, not because of our intellect, but because we're very funny.
okay,
I like to think I'm
that's
funny.
subjective.
Yeah.
No. But I'm saying like we're
Yeah.
a comedy book podcast.
We have a thing. Yeah.
We're not a comedy. Like I don't think that people would find watching a comedy movie podcast as enjoyable.
Well, we're gonna find out. Let's hope so, because that's what this
Well, no,
is.
but this is
how
still, it's
we
still relating
find
to books.
out.
Yeah.
This is how we figure out if the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. So let us know if you end
So
up
maybe
enjoying
we
this.
move in a little bit into movies, maybe a TV show.
Yeah, here and
Based
there.
on
and there.
books, yeah.
I could do a Vampire Diary one.
But this opens
Eventually.
up. This opens up the recommendations for
Don't
y'all to
tempt
send
me
us.
with a good time.
So okay, yeah. So if there's a specific movie that
I was going to open it
think-
up on Discord and have them all send us movies.
it's a
Oh,
good
that's
idea.
great, yeah.
But okay, so I think in my head, and maybe we shouldn't be talking about this on the podcast yet, but in my head, we're gonna mainly prioritize the ones that are book to movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always book to movie.
However, the first one that we're doing
It's not.
is not a book to movie.
But it relates to books and
Yes.
In
publishing.
general.
And
Yeah.
So
it's,
I think
it's what's it called? It's happening right now. It's
current event.
current.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
Is
came
it
out
current?
recently.
Yeah, it's in theaters right now.
Oh yeah.
You know what sucks?
New release.
This is going to be like one of the last episodes. Like, by the time this comes out.
Yeah, you're right. But here's the deal. We're still going to swear. We're still going to spoil. And we're still going to talk about sex. If you haven't seen this movie yet, we're telling you everything that happens to it. I'm telling you right now. Do not get mad at us if you keep listening and you think, I was going to go watch that movie and now it's ruined.
Yeah.
This is
You
it.
were
This is
warned.
your only
I don't
warning.
think anybody would think that.
The movie that we're talking about is The Lost City.
I don't know who the author is.
who wrote The Lost City? Starring Sandra
Say-
Bullock
Starring and Channing Tatum.
and Brad Pitt.
He didn't star. He
He's a
showed up.
cameo.
I can't wait to talk about that. So if you haven't seen the trailer for this movie, it was like the way they presented it was Sandra Bullock is an author who
60 seconds? You're going to do it?
should we do a 60 seconds?
Yeah. I think so.
Let's try to explain the entire movie in 60 seconds or less.
Same shit as the book plot. I
You're
think,
right.
What if we did something a little different?
Okay,
Like
we
what?
can.
Ew, I
What?
hate when you come up with ideas.
The 6 seconds was her
and
idea.
it's happening live.
live.
What if
Oh,
we did a
no.
round robin and it was like you say one sentence
Oh,
and I say the
Jesus.
next sentence and you say the next sentence?
This
to
is actually
describe the book.
kind of
About what,
hilarious.
like to tell the story?
to describe
movie.
the book
the movie.
Okay.
The
or
movie.
the movie. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, Kristen starts.
So you start with one sentence and I do
And
the
how
next
long
one
does this go for?
Until
Until we
we're
get
done.
to the end.
until the end.
We can't make it too long though.
Yeah, we can't make it too
Then
long.
do a
What's
fucking
time?
timer.
All right, let's time
A minute. Let's just do a minute.
a minute.
Yeah, that's what we do for
No,
the
give
books.
it no because
Give it
a minute's
2.
hard. Let's do 2.
2 minutes.
Okay.
This is insane. Okay, here we go.
Round robin book
Can
summary.
you tell we don't plan things before we sit down?
So we're gonna attempt to do whatever Erica just said. Here we go. I'll start.
the blind faith?
It'll go me, then you, then Maria.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Sandra Bullock plays an author who
That's not a full sentence.
Yeah, it's not a full sentence.
writes a book.
Channing Tatum is a guy who ends up being on the cover. Plays a cover model who is the model for her book cover.
Maria, it's on you.
All right. Sandra Bullock is on tour to promote her latest book, but she doesn't really want to do this anymore because her husband died, and now she's sort of trying to just finish off the series.
As it turns out, her book is like real. The premise of her book is real, and the treasure exists, so she needs to go find it.
No.
Nope. Somebody kidnapped Sandra Bullock.
Harry Potter kidnaps her.
Harry Potter kidnapped Sandra Bullock because she wrote some like pretty legitimate things about a lost artifact.
And so she is taken to this island by Harry Potter and trying to make her translate a specific type of thing to find this lost treasure of the lost city.
And Channing Tatum shows up.
You're making this too easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Channing Tatum shows up.
That's my sentence.
He shows up with
30
Brad
seconds
Pitt to
left.
try to save Sandra Bullock, but ends up getting lost in the woods with her.
Brad Pitt gets killed.
No, he doesn't.
We're not there yet.
Fuck, what happens after that?
We're still in the first 10 minutes of the
time.
movie.
Okay, that didn't go well at all.
Okay.
All right, let's break
Because
this.
Kristen couldn't.
Yeah, you fucked it up.
Couldn't put a fucking full thought together.
Because I wanted to rewatch this movie because I forgot a lot of the stuff.
I've watched it twice.
No, we got almost all the way to the end.
No, we did not.
Yes, we did.
No, we did
They get
not. We're in the first 20 minutes
They
of the
get
movie.
they get lost in the woods and then
in the jungle. It ain't woods.
in the jungle, and then they find the fucking place, and then
It's the lost tomb, and there's an artifact that Harry
there's nothing
Potter
in
wants.
there. And then there's nothing in there, and then the whole place kabooms.
No,
and she
what's
gets saved.
in there is the answer that Sandra was looking for this entire time. Even though her archaeologist husband died, she must renew her life and live a new life with Channing Tatum.
That was
That's what she
beautiful.
learns from the tomb.
Let's start from the beginning. We open the movie with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock
Yep.
in Sandra's book.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this exciting scene is happening, and then we crash out of it because Sandra Bullock can't think of the next thing how to end her book.
Yeah.
It's the end. She
She's-
can't think of how to
She's
end it.
having writer's block for the end. Her husband
Yes.
has died about 4 years ago. He's an archaeologist, and she's kind of depressed, and she's just she's done. She doesn't really have the drive to finish this series, and she just sort of half-asses it. And now we're moving on to the book tour
Yeah.
to promote the book.
Yeah. And this is do we know what number in the series she's on? It's a pretty
This is the
long-
last book of the series.
But it's a long series.
I think so. Think of it as one of Erica's favorite romance books, which are 20 books in a series. Think of it like that.
Yeah.
And Sandra Bullock, obviously, the author.
Yeah.
So she's getting ready for tour, and they're it's that standard pressure of you have to finish the book. These people are waiting for you. There's a contract. You got to finish this book. I love her assistant.
Yes. Her publicist.
Publicist, yeah. She's one of my favorite characters. She's this badass woman who's just trying to basically keep her.
Make sure I have all the names of everybody's characters.
Yeah, she's one of the funniest in my opinion.
I thought she was amazing.
So when she goes on tour, Channing Tatum's character, he is the model
For her covers.
for the cover of her books, but he's kind of taken on this persona where he thinks he's actually the character in the book, which is fucking hilarious. Do you think this is ever?
he takes on this he knows he brings people joy.
I think he's just playing it up.
Beth, her name is
for the whole situation. He has a wig on and everything, and looks like Fabio kind of.
Definitely
Which is kind
Fabio
of-
energy.
It's kind of an ode to the old covers to some degree.
Yeah.
Because now romance covers are definitely more short-haired men that look more like Channing Tatum. So
Totally.
it's definitely an ode to the olden days of romance novels.
And it's all of her fans, all of Sandra Bullock's, or the author, what's her name in the movie?
Loretta.
All of
Loretta Sage.
All of Loretta's fans are obsessed with Channing Tatum, who he plays. What's his name in the
And
movie?
not for
His
nothing.
name is oh my god, D.
Alan.
His name is
Alan.
Alan, but in
the
Dash
book.
is
Okay.
his
Oh,
character
Dash.
name.
So all of Loretta's fans are obsessed with Dash, and
Which
to them,
is topical or not topical. That checks out because I'm a romance reader and I'm a romance book fan, but Corey knows all of the cover models names.
Really?
Follows
Seriously?
them.
Oh, wow.
People who actually are very big fans of romance books actually do know the models, and they do
that's funny.
That's
follow
so
them.
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so
It is much more common.
Yeah.
In
I didn't know
that,
that.
people I'm just the worst fan of things ever.
Me too.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
follow
I'm
all
a
things.
half-hearted fan.
Yeah,
Same.
I don't have time.
No, I agree. So Alan, obviously, with all these fans coming up to him, being like, "Oh, Dash, Dash!" I imagine that gets in your head. You start to think that you're the character, and that's what's happened to him. He is Dash, but he's a good guy.
He's a sweetheart.
But he's also playing it up for the sales.
Yeah, he's playing it up to. He knows it brings joy. He knows his role in this.
Just a good dude.
he
and,
just sticks to it.
and Loretta is not into it.
Listen,
She's pissed.
so
She's
here's
pissed.
this book has all the tropes you need. All right, classic Grumpy Sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She is grumpy.
Yeah.
He's the sunshine.
Which I love that it's
so freaking
One of my favorite
cute.
tropes.
Yeah. So after the book tour, and Loretta's getting all of this pressure, like, you need to write this book, she gets kidnapped. As she's leaving this like tour area, Alan sees her get kidnapped. And he, so like, thank God, so like, you know, we know that something actually happened to her. And she gets kidnapped, like we said, by Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Daniel Radcliffe, his name is Abigail Fairfax in the book. It's a unisex name. His brother's name is Leslie. And I guess his younger brother gets given the empire of the, you know, the media company that his family's part of. But Daniel, Abigail's the bad guy. He's the bad guy in this. He has found the lost city that Loretta has written about in her books because she and her husband had researched this place before, and she just made it a place in her book. And so Abigail is like, you know about the lost city, you're going to translate for me. And so that's why he gets her kidnapped. He kidnaps her, takes her to the island, and asks her, demands that she translates this. But in the process, Alan is now trying to get Brad Pitt, who is an ex-Navy SEAL.
What's his character's name?
Brad Pitt, his Jack Trainer.
Trainer
Who
name.
trains.
Okay, so Alan is hiring Jack.
Yep.
As this like Navy SEAL guy, badass, like to
come
go
help her,
save,
come save her.
which is so funny.
And he's like, I want to come with you. I want to come. I want to I want to save her with you. I just want to be the guy that says like, shh, you're safe now. Which is the amount of times I laughed during this movie, and I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
Was constant. I kept looking at Erica like we were dying of
Yeah.
laughter the whole time.
We were laughing the whole time.
So Brad Pitt goes, he's like sneaking into the camp to try to get Loretta. He gets her, and Channing Tatum is like in the background, sort of like hits the last hit when the guy's already knocked out.
Yep.
It's like so many funny little, you know, how do you call those kind of things? That kind of comedy. Slapstick comedy.
Slapstick, yeah.
So Loretta gets out. They get out with him, and in the middle of them trying to really truly escape, Brad Pitt is shot in the head.
I was not ready for
Plot
that.
twist.
I was not ready for Brad Pitt to just die.
I thought he was gonna say the whole movie.
I thought Alan and him were gonna fall in love, and like that was gonna be the funny twist.
like a bromance.
Yeah, it was gonna be like that was like the twist, and
Yeah.
Loretta's still like kind of on her own.
I kind of knew Brad Pitt wasn't going to be in the movie the whole time because
I think he was just gonna get shot right away.
I didn't think he was going to get shot. I just didn't think he was going to be in the movie the entire time because he's too big of a name to not be the main character.
Yeah, I think he was like a
you-
favor to come in as a cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just too big of a name to not like. No offense to Channing Tatum, way bigger name than Channing Tatum. So like,
Kinda.
he's a '90s heartthrob. Like, yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
but I don't think Brad's at the top of where he was before, in my opinion.
no,
To
but
be
I
fair,
also
I
don't
thought
think
he was
he's
a
doing-
Hemsworth at first.
I also don't think he's
The hair?
doing
Yeah.
like romantic comedies anymore.
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
So I knew he wasn't going to be in there the whole time, but I assumed it was just going to be a really short cameo. I didn't think he was going to die, like I said.
Yeah.
But this
So
movie
good.
really made me think about like Tropic Thunder because
Yes.
it's like action.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah, very much Tropic
It's
Thunder vibes.
action adventure comedy, and Tropic Thunder was, if you will rewatch Tropic Thunder, it would never get made right now because it's like
No.
literally
No,
one of the
no,
most
no, 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 no,
racist,
no, no,
no,
no, no.
problematic movies ever. Hilarious movie for the generation that it was made in.
Yep.
But this movie to me had a lot of the elements that were very funny and like neutral in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I could see that. So after Brad Pitt dies, Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock go on their little adventure.
They're kind of stuck in the jungle because their car
whole-
gets like falls off
Yeah.
The
the cliff.
whole time it's a very romance plot driven.
100%. It's a romance book.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it
so funny.
feels like it's like a book. It's a movie and a book and a movie. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this like very it's an ode to romance readers. So if you are a romance reader, you will appreciate the fuck out of every
Yeah.
turn, every joke, every like small quip under the breath type thing. Like there's
Yeah.
just so many
Yeah,
like
it was so
little
good.
Easter eggs for people who know romance novels and like appreciate them. I also think John would actually find it really funny too.
Yeah, it's
I
good
don't
for
think I don't
everybody.
think it's
I
like
agree.
necessarily just funny for people who are readers.
Yeah.
I think we would find it the most funny. It's definitely catered to us, but the jokes are pretty bilateral.
I mean, even I was picking up on some things just based off of what I've listened to you guys throughout like our podcast recordings. Like when they're in the forest, like running away from Harry Potter's people, basically trying to bring them back. And so throughout this time, like they're trying to survive, but also they don't have a car. So they there's this moment where they're camping out and they have a hammock. The one bed trope. Like I picked up on that. I was like, oh my God, the one bed trope. Like I felt like I was in the inn. And they had to share this hammock. And I thought that was the funny. Like, have you ever tried to fucking share a hammock with somebody?
Ridiculous.
It's like a nightmare.
A single hammock.
Yeah, one single hammock, just you two. Like an actual like camping hammock too. Not like a nice spread out hammock.
I don't camp.
Yeah, but that was.
I don't go outside.
And that was like in my prime watching Naked and Afraid time. So I was like, and you hadn't started yet.
Fully yet.
So I was sitting out there. I was like, oh, he needs to light that fire and get the water. And like that's what
he needs a boat show, and they need to be able to filter that water out. Otherwise, they're gonna die in 3 days.
Yes, I was like thinking of like water sources, all this stuff. That's funny. So what happens after that is, how did it get to the point where Sandra Bullock's character was like, I want to go and find this thing?
She kept the
she kept the parchment that had the actual like translation, and they get to a cliffside that
is so funny where it's like it happens to be there.
Oh yeah,
that's another trope.
But what's funny is that Abigail mentions it before, because she was like, did you find any other places where there was writings? And he's like, we found some like rock face with a bunch of naked women on it. So like it was mentioned. And she comes across it, and then she finds the place that matches the parchment, and she reads it out because she's able to translate what it is, and it's like the Sea of Tears and yada yada yada. So at that point, she's interested, because this is what she's always wanted to do with her late husband, is to find a treasure and like, do this whole archaeology thing. And then they finally get out of the jungle. They get to this kind of like village town by the thing, and that's where they have my favorite scene, which is where they dance. They dance.
Anytime Channing Tatum dances.
I fell in love with Channing Tatum back at
my
Step
heart
Up.
Flutters. I watched that last week.
Yeah,
because I was like in a Channing Tatum
mood.
Still holds up.
Nice.
Still so good.
Step Up.
That's when I first fell in love with him, and so Channing dancing in this with her, right? They're doing sort of like a
fucking Sandra Bullock, man.
She looks great. She's so good. I love her. Sandra is one of my all-time favorite actresses. I think I've watched almost every film Sandra's in, and I tend to do this thing where I like to go back to the 90s films and just watch Sandra movies. So
I
like
love her.
Practical Magic and like freaking not Sleeps in Seattle. Speed. I don't really watch Speed that much.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It's all right. Lake House with Keanu Reeves, though.
Yeah. While you were sleeping.
While you were sleeping,
that's the one.
It was cute.
I love Sandra Bullock.
So anyway,
it's with the guy. It's with the president from from Independence Day.
Oh, really?
What a way to say it.
That's funny.
Everyone knows Independence Day.
Yeah.
And
I barely remember that movie.
We're a movie podcast.
One time we were at 4th of July party, and like Independence Day was just playing over and over again on a channel, and the guys were all inside because it was like that part with the speech, and they all just were saying the speech together. Like everyone like has the speech memorized.
That's cute.
That's
we
really
will
funny.
not go silently into the night.
Oh, is that where that's from?
Yeah.
I thought that was a poem.
It is.
I'm sure it is.
It is. Yeah. I forget the guy's name.
Anyway, so they get out, they find the village, and they're sort of like, oh, we're saved. That's the false end. They have a dance moment, but it turns out the cop from the village is sort of in Abigail's pocket. So Abigail shows up. She's like, you left without saying bye.
Very good moment. Yep.
And so they get kidnapped again.
Once again.
What?
How old do you think Channing Tatum is?
Oh, he's like
43.
36.
Ooh, I went too high.
What did you say?
I said 43.
I said 36.
42.
Oh, I was close.
How old do you think Sandra Bullock is?
Oh, she's like 50 something. She's almost 60.
No, 52.
She's 60, isn't she?
No, there's no way.
Yeah, she is.
She's not.
She
60.
is.
57.
Okay, I said
60.
56 at first.
She's 60.
I was close.
That's a lot.
The age gap
like
romance.
age
Age
gap.
gap romance right there. We got all the tropes.
Wait, how old did you say Channing was?
42.
That's not that big. 42
No,
to
but
57.
you
12.
You tend to see the
12.
men.
15.
15.
Nice one.
You don't usually see that age gap. You see it the opposite way.
That's what I'm trying to say. You tend to see men older than the females in
also,
movies.
I think Sandra Bullock does not look 57.
No. Whoever.
57
I'm not
not
going to
that
say
old.
she has a surgeon, but whoever did the work on Sandra. Did great.
She did great work.
They all have a lot of like, even if it's not surgery,
Yeah,
it's
even
like
the men
best
have
skincare.
stuff. Yeah. They have money. Must be nice.
So they get kidnapped again, and Harry Potter leads them to where the tomb is. Which, like, how did he figure it out?
So basically, they. Oh, she figures out it's the sinkhole.
Yeah.
So I think they just like she might have just told them at that point.
Oh. Yeah, so he brings them into... This is, like, the coolest part of the movie. They, like, crawl through this hole in a rock.
Fucking scary.
And it is scary. I can never do something like that. But when they get to the outside, it's like a whole nother fucking
I would never
oasis.
be able to. And not for nothing, that whole... This is not a problem I have with this movie, because, like, movies can be like this. But her crawling through, she barely fit through. You know how big Channing Tatum's shoulders are?
Yep.
Maybe Daniel Radcliffe... Okay. Channing Tatum is a fucking rock.
Yes, he is.
I just think of that freaking guy that got stuck. You know that guy?
In the 36 hours or 120 hours?
No. There's like an actual cave system where a guy got stuck and they're talking to him, but he died. And since then, they've just filled in the spot. Like his body's still under there.
What?
Oh, yeah. You should look into it.
How
It's
did they
crazy.
not be able to
They couldn't get him out. There was no possible way. His shoulders. So like when he breathed in and he got like in the position where his shoulders, there was no way to get him out. And he's talking to like his family and friends and like talking all the way up until he died. And then they filled it in.
They didn't even feed him or nothing?
There's nothing they could do. He's gone.
I would have just...
They tried for days, and then they fucking filled him in.
Because you lose so much weight on it, getting afraid.
Yeah.
So like, if you go a couple
It's
days without food,
It was his bones, not even his.
so
He
he's just
died
big
after
bone.
28 hours.
Is this like you found it?
He got stuck upside down.
Yeah.
Also, the thing to the head.
They
blood to the head.
They tried, but they were like, we would have to break everything, and like we can't.
It could cause a whole like
It would be a whole nother issue.
cave in.
Yeah, and they filled. That's the craziest
That's
thing
so
is that they just
sad.
like filled it in with cement, so
That's
his
so
body's still
sad.
under there. I know, it was very sad, but that's
Wait till
every
they
time.
find him such like generations later.
Oh my god, I always think about that. Like they're like fucking going through the
Someone's
rocks.
gonna find him 125 years from now, and you'll be like, "Whoa!"
And they're trying to like figure out what was the species.
Oh wait. It says, rescuers had freed him briefly Wednesday.
Yeah.
24 hours after he became lodged between rocks, but the system of ropes and pulleys that they had used to lift him a few feet failed, and the man was pulled by gravity back into the same position he was originally wedged in.
oh, that's so.
They
sad.
tried everything. It's really
That is
sad.
so sad.
Yeah. So every time now I see somebody going through those small spaces and rocks, I immediately think of that.
When I sometimes see it on TikTok when people are just going to small
Yeah.
spaces, or like there's like, oh, there's like a big pool on the other side. So go on.
How do you
through.
know? How do you know?
we saw the same
I'm
TikTok.
like, why would
because
you do that?
There was
Why?
one where she even said, one of the girls was like, oh, just like breathe, like, or something. And I was like, that is literally how that guy fucking
There are
got
some
stuck.
where it's like through a waterfall.
Yeah, how
right?
do you
It's
figure
like,
it out?
It's like nature's slide.
Who's the first person to do it and be like, well, I'll jump through
fucking
that hole.
idiot.
I'll
A fucking idiot.
We'll see what happens. If I go through the hole and I don't come out, I don't come out. Like, that's insane.
This is why humans cannot evolve.
I agree. Well, on the other side of the hole that they climb through is like this oasis,
It's
but
the
there's
tomb.
a tomb is in there. It was very beautiful.
Oh no, he
There's
had
like
a wife.
I know, it's a really sad. You don't want to go down that hole.
I don't want to.
Oh my god, no pun intended. Okay, so they go into the tomb, and Harry Potter is like desperate to get
He wants
the
to get
treasure.
this like crown that's supposed to be like this priceless artifact.
And they pry open the thing. Meanwhile, not Dash, his name's Alan. Meanwhile, Alan and Loretta are like, don't do this, don't do this. But then eventually Loretta's like, I actually kind of want to see what's inside there. And then they open it, and it's just
Their bodies.
it's just
their
the two
bones.
bodies, and they're
And
embracing each
that's
other.
the treasure.
The
Each
treasure
other
is love.
is their love. The answer is love. Just like the riddle in ACOTAR. The riddle is love.
Oh,
But that's a trope too.
That's a trope.
yeah. And Harry Potter's pissed. He's like,
Harry Potter was a very pissy.
he plays the perfect villain. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's like a gremlin.
Honestly, it's just I didn't expect him to be this good at it.
He looks like a gremlin. It's like perfect.
So at this point now the cave is starting to cave in. Everything's starting to break down.
Jesus Christ.
Lots of puns.
Jesus Christ.
And Harry Potter leaves.
Harry
He says,
Potter
"Good luck."
tries to be like tries to
Throws
get out.
them in there.
Leaves him in.
Not only like, which like, why do you have to be like that?
Because he's the villain.
He makes his little
Why do you have to be
bodyguard.
a murderer too, though?
He makes his bodyguard put Alan and Loretta in the tomb and then shuts it. But the bodyguard is like has a redemption arc
Dominican
where
homie.
he's like good and he leaves the crowbar.
Wait, what did he look like? He looked like
Denzel.
Spanish Denzel.
Yeah, he looked like a Dominican Denzel.
I can see that. So he left them the crowbar in there, and
He's
that's
hot.
how Loretta and Alan are able to escape. How did it end?
It ended
Beth
with
ended up coming.
Oh, Beth.
Beth
yeah.
came
Her
on the
rescue.
fucking boat. Beth has her own entire like side
Side
plot
story.
story, which is so good.
It's just
She
But
funny.
basically
shows
just
up with the fucking
bulldozes
Coast Guard.
everybody. Yeah.
Shows up with the Coast Guard, kind of be like, "We're here. We found this white man, this little boy."
And they're like, no, he's bad because they picked up
Yeah.
Abigail.
Yeah.
So they arrest Abigail, and Alan and Loretta fall in love, of course, because they were on this adventure together. They love each other, and it ends with them like on the island,
beach,
They
like
kiss.
on a random paradise beach, and they kiss. And she tells Alan, she's like, "Why don't you write how this chapter goes?"
Oh yeah,
And he starts sort of like narrating how he would write the chapter.
And it's so
That
bad.
He's already putting
It's
a
so
throb
bad.
in there.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, that's like a chapter 5 thing. He goes, no, it's chapter 1 thing. And I'm like, this is so good.
Yeah, he said throbbing. We were all dying for that
I was dying
part.
so much.
She's like, you can't just put the word throb in the first chapter.
You gotta work up to that.
Yeah.
It
And
was
that's
very like it was a very if you are a romance reader, you would very much enjoy it
And appreciate
just
it.
because the jokes are catered to you.
What
Let's
did we
see.
say the characters were? Because we said that I was the Dominican one that got his redemption. You were the one that fell down the...
Out of karma too, like obviously.
Who's Erica?
Erica's the other one. I don't remember what it was.
There's like these henchmen, right? And
No,
so-
I was chanting Tatum because you made fun of me and then you immediately fell.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was. There's a scene where like the very, very tall henchman, Channing Tatum almost slips. He makes fun of him. He ends up falling down the cliff.
And I was like, oh, that's me. That's my
so
karma.
Chris is like, oh, that's me.
the
And
amount
then-
of time I like make fun of Erica, but I'm wrong, is honestly very comical.
I turned to Chris. And
I
was like-
acknowledge it.
It immediately happened, right? And like it's like a very funny moment because you weren't expecting him to just fall to his death, like immediately after making fun of him.
We both looked at each other at the same
I
time.
looked at Chris and I was like, "That's fucking you,
And I
man."
was like, yes, it is. Yes, it
Meanwhile,
is.
I'm there in the middle, be like, guys, come on.
Oh my goodness. So let's see what this did on Rotten Tomatoes. See, we have good reads for our books. We got Rotten Tomatoes for
I love
IMDb says it got a 6.6 out of 10.
Rotten Tomatoes. We got a 78% for
That's
the
pretty
critics.
good.
For critics, 83% audience score. That's very good.
That's actually
Very
really
good
good.
score.
For a fun
For a
comedy,
comedy, yeah.
That's very good.
I thought it was so well done.
rom-com.
I had so much fun watching it.
Me too.
Watching it twice.
I
you know,
suggest watching with your
laughed.
friends too.
I still laughed a ton. I went by myself the first time.
It was nice with all of us.
Yeah.
It was just funny. Yeah, it was a good time. Love Channing Tatum. Love Brad Pitt. Love Harry Potter. Love Sandra Bullock. All-star cast. Erica, what were your ratings for Christmas movies? Maybe we should do a rating system moving forward.
It was kind of like more geared towards like Christmas.
We should, okay, we don't have to do it right now, but let's come up with a rating system so that for future movies, we can have an Erica's Corner of like rating certain things. I think that would be fun.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know if it should.
Tell
be out of
us what
10,
movie
though.
you want us to watch.
Yeah.
To comment on.
Yeah. Let us know if you like this. Like, I mean, really.
It's a little, let us have a way of getting it up to speed. Oh, Channing Tatum's butt is in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yummy.
He had leeches all over his butt.
That doesn't make you want to watch it. I don't know what will.
There's a lot of shots of his butt, and I appreciated it.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, cool. Quickly run, don't walk to our Discord. Give us all the recommendations of the books to movies that you want us to talk about, because 3 books into movies, it's fucking happening whether you like it or not. I'm just kidding. If you hate it, let us know. So that's head over to our Instagram. That's books_and_Betches, BETCHES. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe. You can watch these episodes. Be a patron. Go over to our Patreon. Literally just go to the link tree in our Instagram and you'll find all this information.
Yay!
We love you.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.